All right, what is up, everybody? Blessings to all of you. Thank you so much for jumping on tonight. We're going to have a good time tonight. And guess what? God is faithful. Do me a favor. Blessings to all of you that are already here, who were early to class. Blessings to you. But do us a favor. Do us a favor. Go ahead. I'm going to do this as well. Welcome to Sunday Night Prayer. Go ahead, if you will, if you can. Go ahead and let me know that you're here. Say what's up. Hello, I see you, Joanne, Tanya. Did you make it home yet, Tanya? Blessings to you. We have two more Sunday night prayers left. Welcome to Sunday night prayer. And so this is the next to last time that you'll be hearing me say, welcome to Sunday night prayer. Tears are running down my cheek. Blessings, Pastor Doris. To my pastor mom, hello, I see you, Pastor Keel. Blessings to you. Dr. Stewart, hello, man. Blessings. Are you still in the shot or did you head back to the great state of Texas? Stacy, what's up? Wilma Burns, hello, I see you. You all, as you're coming in, just continue to speak. I want to acknowledge as many people as I can. Deborah, hello. Santrina, blessings to you. Callie Grant, hello. Susan, my sister from another mister, hello. Malaya, blessings to you. I see our Facebook family is coming on in. Cynthia from North Dakota, welcome to Sunday Night Prayer. I got you, Brother Stewart, here until Tuesday. Good, amazing evening. I see you, April, Linda, Latrice, hello. Blessings to you. Blessings upon blessings. Blessings upon blessings to you. All right. Again, I see a like. I see 2 likes. Those that are coming in on Facebook, do us a favor and go ahead and pump those hearts. Share, comment, all of those things. Blessings to you. I see R. Stewart. Blessings from North Carolina. Thank you all for letting me know where you're tuning in from. Tamika Dixon, hello. See R. Stewart from North Carolina. Blessings to you. Patrice, blessings to you from South Carolina. Blessings to you. Thank you so much for jumping in tonight. I see you, Carla Taylor and Sharon. Blessings. And do us a favor again. Welcome tonight. We're going to get into what we're going to get into in the next 2 minutes. I like to preach what I practice and practice what I teach. Hello, Angela Morris. So I'm going to go ahead and share myself. So blessings to all of you. Let me go ahead and share this out as well to all of my Facebook audience. I see you all on Facebook. Blessings to you. Get a few of my groups in here. Again, blessings to all of you that are jumping on. All right, as I stated, only 2 Sundays left. How y'all doing tonight? Let me know how you're feeling. Again, blessings. I see more people coming in. Melita, hello. Annette, blessings to you. Angela Morris, I think I spoke earlier. Gail, blessings to you. Let's just start off talking about the conference. Somebody say, what conference? We had an innovative prayer leader conference. Esther Ray, hello. Evangeline has already alluded to it. The conference was God really met us. I know people say that, but I'm like serious. The power of God was like present. Power of God was present. And we had a goal going into the conference, which was to allow people to leave with some information, strategies, some processes that would help them in their areas of expertise, their particular domains, their states, churches, family, and their life. And it was just, God does all things well. I want to shout out my entire team who helped pull this off. We launched this conference. We were going back and forth 1 day, 2 days. Should we do it? Should we? So we just said we launched it in like a month. We promoted for like a month, I think it was, and we counted all the seats in the space. First of all, we were going to have tables and chairs. That didn't work. Those seats went so fast, and we took up the tables, counted the rest of the seats, and we had a cutoff point. And when the cutoff point was met, we stopped it. And thank you all who showed up. So to the team, thank you. To those that showed up, thank you. Also, I want to say thank you to all of those who promoted, who pushed, all of those who sold to make this happen. And then the guest this year. What do you think about the guest this year? For those who were there, how did you like our guest this year? Yes, Tammy said the conference was amazing. Pull back some of those conference comments so I can read them off as they come up. I see it. Yes, conference was very good. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Conference was powerful. Yeah, powerful. Power of God met us. Those that are just coming on, do us a favor, like, share, comment, and pump some hearts. Engage. Conference was life changing. Yes, April. We declared that in the beginning that our lives would not be the same. We would not leave the same way that we came. Wealth of information. Yes. And so that's what we want to do. We want to give information. Process of transformation. That's what we wanted to give. Process of transformation that leads to spirit-led manifestation. And so we talked about that. Conference was incredible from start to finish. Yeah, Apostle Gardner kicked us off, and then just man, and then like really, y'all. So I see conference was incredible, start to finish. Conference was amazing. Keep going. Let me read some more conference comments. Informative. Conference was enriching and informative. Yes. Full of wisdom, all of that, right? Full of wisdom. I leave right there. All the guests were great. Now, so here's what we did. I've never seen this happen. Leave this right there. So I said to myself, who better to talk to about corporate prayer gatherings than Pastor Hannah? And so we interviewed him. And we interviewed him, and it was like, I mean, he just was pouring out so much wisdom, and we stayed right in the vein of corporate prayer, from our church's corporate prayer gathering to we have something that we call 4 a.m. prayer, which is becoming an international prayer meeting. Then we have prayer on 79th Street, which is something for our city, for our community. Then we have 12-hour prayer. That's something, again, that's now international. Then we have another citywide prayer meeting with thousands. We call it Sunrise Service. We come out to worship. We come out to pray. And it was his vision to start all of those. And even our prayer ministry at our church, we have something we do called Win, where we pray every other week as a team. And so just asking him about all of those and just the years and the wisdom, what worked, what didn't work, things to watch out for. And I'm not even done asking him questions about corporate prayer yet. And then it was so funny, just like God, right? At the end of talking about corporate prayer, he led us in corporate prayer, and the power of God just hit the building. So special thanks to my pastor, Pastor John Hanna. Special thanks to Apostle Gardner. Pastor Dorian lit the building on fire, right? Lit the building on fire. She was teaching, trying to hold it in. I told the woman of God, I said, woman of God, just do you. I told her in the back, I said, just do you. I know you have a lesson to teach because this is a teaching conference, strategy, information process. But I told her to go ahead and do you. So she did her thing, and then she ministered, and there was just so much breakthrough in the building. And I was just like, okay, God, thank you. So thank you to all of you who helped make this happen. Teamwork makes the dream work. Thank you to all of those who sold into this conference. We did something, everything we did was by faith. So let me do this here. Everything we did was by faith. All right. So we said we're going to do this conference and we're going to say, pay whatever you want. And so there are people that, I'm not exaggerating, there are people that just paid $1 and we weren't tripping. We was like, okay, God, we trust you. There are people that paid a heck of a lot that just sold and different things. And then so we did that. People paid $1, and I saw, they came to the conference and it was all good. And we gave everybody lunch, right? Everybody had lunch. So we had, how can you do a conference, pay what you want? People pay $1, people pay $5. You do all that goes into planning a conference, from renting the space, from paying all the speakers, from all of you, everything you have to do in terms of print. Everyone had a folder. The whole team had t-shirts. We had name tags. We had a full conference. We had handouts. All that takes to do that. All of the resources that go into that. We had snacks. So it was a full conference. And to God be the glory, nobody but God, that when we were done with the conference, we were in the green. And so we just thank God that he's faithful. And so I'm so encouraged in the Lord. I am so encouraged in the Lord. I never want money to be a barrier. I'm going to read you this testimony that somebody sent, and then we're going to get into this tonight, what I want to share with you all. Somebody said it was very professional. We got so many comments on the hospitality. And I was talking to our executive pastor today at our church, Pastor Jamon Glenn, and he was like, they've taken on the spirit of the leader. That people are nice. They take on the spirit of the leader. So the team is just phenomenal, nice, kind, and again, thank you to the team. But let me read you this text message. All right. So this blessed me. Somebody sent me this. This really blessed me. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's kind of long. But they said, hey, great job, sir. I love how the Lord uses you and your wife, both very humble, willing to serve the people of God with grace and integrity. And let me skip down. Somebody sent them this and said, I am so thankful. I'm so thankful to be here. I'm so thankful to be here. This time I was able to come because I was able to pay what I could afford. So I guess last time they couldn't come because last time it was like $127 and then 147 if you added lunch. So they said this time I was able to come because I was able to pay what I could afford. I'm not able to go to conferences like this because I usually don't have the kind of money that they're asking for. So that was a confirmation for me. And I said, okay, God, I never want a person of prayer. I never want a person of age that is on a fixed income. I never want a person that's in a season where they just can't afford it to say, I can't come and experience what God has for me in prayer because of money. So we shut all of that down, and to God be the glory. So IPL Con 2024 was phenomenal. Phenomenal conference. I was glad to be in attendance. I'm still processing the info from your MAPS session. Yeah. So I did a session called MAPS. You just had to be there. I'm going to bring that back. I'm going to do some more with that. But it is very, very important. We have maps of prayer. And I was talking to a pastor. He said he's already started to process some of the maps, to put some things in place for his particular church to meet with his team. And so conference was amazing. Next year, how many of you are going to come back next year, Lord willing, and bring somebody? Callie you beat me to the punch on everything. She said, I'm ready for next year. And so we are planning for next year. We are so excited to do it next year. And we're going to do everything in our power to just make it better, more formative, and all of those things. And so again, thank you all for being a part of the conference. I want to do something here. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this here. All right. I know I can. All right, we're going to get going here in just a moment. Thank you all. Y'all are like me. I'm going to come back. So again, blessings to all of you. I'm trying to do something here. Maybe I'll just do it next week. Yeah, I'll just do it next week. All right. So let's get into this. So we've been talking about just wisdom. And so I've given you for the last 5 weeks just a wisdom nugget that I believe is something that can help catapult your life. Last 5 words, people's like, give me some wisdom. I told the people that at the conference what I was going to talk about tonight. And so we're just going to really get into it. So I was talking to a multi-millionaire who operates $1 billion company. And so you don't often, I shouldn't say you, I don't know. I don't talk to multi millionaires often that run manage $1 billion corporations. But I'm graced to be able to be connected to this person. And they were telling me about just life and some things that they see in me. And they gave me some wisdom, and I want to share that wisdom with you. They say you never know what God is going to do in the future, but whatever God wants to do in the future, you want to be ready. And so here's the advice that they gave me, and this is what I want to give to you tonight. Work on your all around game. Work on your all around game. There are people in life who do their best to not stand out. They don't want to be last. They don't want to be first. They don't want to lead. They don't want to look different. They want to stay what I would call in the middle of the pack. If they were an animal, they wouldn't want to be an animal that has colors different than all the other animals. They want to be that animal that blended in with the other animals, because they realize that when you're different, or if there's a pack of animals and one animal is, let's just say, wounded or hurt, and the other animals are moving in a particular way, and this hurt animal is moving different, they realize that they're in danger, because when you are different, when you are leading, when you are trailing, when you are not what I would call in the middle of the pack, you can't blend in. And sometimes that's a good thing, because when you blend in with the crowd, you become less of a target. You become less of a target. Targets are important. The devil goes to and fro seeking whom he can devour, who he can take out. It means something like the enemy understands how to not waste his attacks on things that are not beneficial, futile, things that won't give a good return on an investment. So he says something to Job, or something to God, as he was talking to Job. He said, God said to Job, they're having this conversation, and God says to Job, have you considered my servant Job? And Job said, as a matter of fact, I have. However, I'm not messing with him, because there's so many other people that I can mess with that do not have a hedge of protection around them. And so, you know the story. God removed the hedge. You said you could do anything. You know, the devil said, God, you know, the only reason he's blessing you is because you have this hedge around him and you giving him all this stuff. And God was like, all right, that's not the reason. Let me show you. Remove the hedge. And you all know the story. Job still blessed God. And so, targets. Job was not a target because he had a hedge. Job was not a target because he had strength. Job was not a target because he had some things together. Now, when I say work on your all around game, what I mean is this, and this has been so helpful for me. Work on areas in your life that make you either an easy target for the enemy to take out, or they leave you high and dry, not being able to execute when you get to a season where it's time to execute. All right, let's let that simmer for a little bit. Work on your all-around game. What are 5 things? And this is a rhetorical question. What are 5 things that you could put down personally? Don't write it on the screen. Don't write it in chat. But personally, what are 5 areas that you can work on that'll cut off the enemy to the degree that he can be cut off, and that can help you be future ready? Help you be future ready, because the future is coming. The future is coming. Work on your all around game. That is my wisdom for you. Work on your all around game. So then, what are some things that I suggest that you work on without even knowing your business, without knowing you? I would say, for one, there are people who work on their they work on their expansion. They work on, God, enlarge my territory. Those are even their prayers. They take the prayer of Jabez, and they work on their width. They work on, okay, this is where God is taking me. I feel like I'm going national, or going international, or I'm expanding. They work on their width, and they think about that. So they work on um, social media. They work on different things that, in their opinion, might give them more bandwidth to go far. And I would say to you, just as wisdom tonight, we're going to pray about some of this too, is do not focus on the width. Let God worry about where he takes you. Work on your depth. Somebody type that in. Don't worry about the width. Worry about the depth. Dig into God. Don't worry about how far you are going to go, can go. Work on how deeper you can go in God. Work on your relationship, God. Work on the depth. Work on being with God. Work on knowing God. Work on your relationship with God. Don't worry about the width. Work on the depth. Because if you have width without depth, the width may take you somewhere that you can't handle without a certain depth in God. And so, there are certain things. I asked Pastor this yesterday. I said, why do you tell people, before you get this microphone, before I put you on this platform, know that this is going to cost you your life? He said, because it's true. because the stage means that you don't belong to you. It means that now you have surrendered your life for public service. Yeah, you can have boundaries and things like that, but it's just certain things that come with a width that if you don't have that together, if you don't have a depth in God, that the width won't last. I heard somebody say something like this: don't let your gift take you where your character cannot keep you. So I would say to you, what is something to work on? Work on the depth. Work on your prayer life. Work on your relationship with God. That will matter. That will always matter. What is something else, Pastor Rel, that you say that maybe I can work on as I prepare myself for the future, as I think about this future? So I want you to think about this. I'm gonna give you a few more of these pieces of wisdom along these lines, but just think about yourself. No, do it like this. Think about your age, right? So whatever age you are, some of you, let's say 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, whatever your age is. Think about what people who are 10, 15, and 20 years older than you are fighting. Think about people that are older than you. So if you're 40, you're in your 40s, think about people that are in their 60s. I still work I'm bivocational. And so I work for the church, but I still work outside the church. And I see people all the time getting ready to retire or want to retire. And they're still battling things currently that were, it was inevitable that they would be facing these things now, but the 40-year-old them, I guess, did not consider the 60-year-old them. And so now they're fighting something at 60 when they're older, when they have less strength, perhaps. They're fighting stuff in their 60s that they could have eliminated and avoided in their 40s. One of the things that God takes serious is when God tells someone, when he says to them, he said, I'm trying to think of this. He told, I know for Saul, he told Saul was out the battle. He said, kill the entire army, he don't bring anything back, don't touch. He disobeyed. When God tells you, when God speaks to you about killing something in one season, the reason that he wants you to kill it or deal with it in one season is because he realizes that if you don't deal with it in one season, it'll come up in the next season. It will show up in your future. And so if there are things right now that you're not working on, you ignore, like the people who I see, God bless them, they're hard workers, they've worked for 30, 40 years, still can't retire because they never dealt with their money. So for me right now, I'm thinking about myself 20 years from now, right? I'm thinking about myself in the future. And I don't want to be older dealing with the consequences that come with not working on my health right now. There's some things that could be avoided. There's some heart attacks, there's some strokes, there's some cases of diabetes. I'm not a doctor or physician, but there's some things that could be avoided in the future if you deal with them now. In the occupation that I was in, that I'm is currently in, one of the things that they changed was how we did the work, because how you do certain work impacts certain joints, certain parts of your body. And there are people who have a knee replacements and hip replacements and different things like that. We work in an environment where they demand of you that you wear hearing protection, you wear eye protection. Why do they do that? They do that because, listen, because they realize that if you don't protect your ears now, you'll lose your hearing later. If you don't protect your ears now, you'll lose your hearing later. Which is to say, another thing that you could work on your sensitivity in the spirit. Work on your prayer life. Work on hearing God. Know how to hear God now. Know how to trust God now. Know how to lean on God now. I tell you all what, one of the things I started thinking about when I was doing this conference, and I was like, pay what you want. And I told the people last year at our conference that our budget was $25,000 for my first conference. And $25,000, I was like, man, you know, so let me say a couple of things. My wife don't like me talking about money and stuff online, which is cool, but I'll respect and honor that. But I'll say this. I wasn't worried about the 25,000 because we had it. I wasn't worried about the budget for this conference because we have it. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say I didn't want to spend all of my personal money or some of my, I sold like everybody else, but I want to take from what we're saving for the future to fund all of this. So I stepped out on faith. And I believe to God now that He can fund a conference. If you can bless my personal finances, sure you can bless this conference. If you can bless me, sure you can be a blessing so other people can be blessed. And so those people in my company, my job, people that can't retire, or people that's still broke in their 60s and 70s that worked all their life, is something wrong with that picture. So I'm saying work on your faith, work on your sensitivity, right? Work on hearing from God. What else is something that I would say that the people of God need to work on? Hmm. Hmm. Work on your attitude. Attitude, some have said, determines altitude. Attitude, altitude, attitude determines altitude. So work on that. Work on your attitude. Some of you, for where you're going, you can't go with that attitude. Somebody told me, they said, Terrell, you should do a course on soft skills. You should do a course on how to deal with people. I said, well, you know what? Maybe I will put that in some of my coaching because it matters. Let me tell you one thing I learned out there, one thing that I do that really helps me to deal with people. And I learned this from Pete Scazzaro. He gave language to something that I was already doing. I just did not have this kind of language to articulate to explain what I was doing. The Bible says that a soft answer turns away wrath. And so I've always seen people, I've always been able to diffuse a situation. I diffuse fights. I diffuse people getting ready to kill each other. I diffuse people that want to draw guns. I diffuse stuff at work. I diffuse stuff in meetings. I'm able to bring it down. One way to do that is a soft answer. One way to do that also, and I'll give you this, you work on this, that when someone does something that you do not like, that you do not understand, Talking about working on your all-around game, working on your attitude. When someone does something that you do not like, that you do not understand, stop and wonder. Somebody type that in for me. Stop and wonder. Stop and wonder. Don't say anything, just stop and wonder. Yes, Angela, stop and wonder. I wonder why they responded that way. I wonder why that triggered them. I wonder, let me see here. I wonder why they have that reaction. I wonder why they did what they did. I wonder why they cannot get out of that relationship. I wonder why they don't see that they're manipulated. I wonder why they're dealing with what they're dealing with. I wonder why they have such an attitude. And I always think that there's something deeper than the surface that I know nothing about that could be the reason why they're doing what they're doing. Could be a trigger. Could bring them back. And so I give people grace when I stop and wonder. Here's another thing I do, and this doesn't work for everybody, and then I'll move to something else in terms of working on your all-around game, because you probably are making your list out. I pray you're making your list of 5 things you could be working on. But here's another thing that I do in terms of people. How to develop soft skills, how to work with people. I remember how much of a sinner I was. And I remind myself that I'm not perfect. Some of you're perfect. I get it. You hold people to a standard because that's you. But I remember how much of a sinner I was. And I know that even today I'm not perfect. So it helps me to give people grace, to speak to people well. Scripture says something like, he who loves much, or he who has been forgiven much, forgives much. So when you realize that you've been forgiven, when you realize that you've been loved, when you realize that God is still gracious and merciful to you, then you reciprocate that. Some of y'all forgot that y'all opened the club, closed the club. Some of y'all forgot that y'all had babies out of wedlock. You just forgot that you were running through men and running through women. Some of y'all forgot how much you used to drink and cuss. Some of y'all forgot y'all went to jail or was in court and stole, liar and cheater. Some of y'all forget that jealousy still rises up in your heart, that you still don't have it all together, that you still have daddy issues. So sometimes you got to remind yourself of who you were and remind yourself that you're still on the potter's wheel. I'll never forget. There was a great. I can't use enough greats preacher that has gone on to be with the Lord in Chicago. His name is Bishop Arthur M. Brazier. Somebody came to Bishop Brazier again has gone on to be with the Lord, and said to him, they said, Bishop, listen. Have you heard about this other preacher? They got caught up in sin. Have you heard about this other preacher? Oh, it's all in the tabloids, it's everywhere. Have you heard? Have you heard? Have you heard? What do you think about that? What do you have to say about that? Oh, this another preacher, this another clergy person. What do you think? And Bishop Brazier stood there for a minute, pondered. He said, but by the grace of God, there go I. He was known for Bishop Brazier for his hospitality. He was known for how he treated people. He was known to be kind because you remind yourself, but by the grace of God, that is me. Work on your all-around game. Work on your people skills. Work on your kindness. Work on how you handle people. Work on how you make people feel. Sometimes people don't remember what you taught them, but they remember how you made them feel. Sometimes before a person can allow you to teach them, they want to know that you love them. So work on that. Work on your people skills. Let me just give you two more. Work on your all-around game. Work on your all-around game. Work on your, for those that are married, work on your marriage. Grass is not always greener on the other side. And the grass is greener, is perhaps that somebody is watering their grass and you're not. Just last week, a CEO of a major company, and this happens a lot, it's no breaking news, had to be pulled down from his seat because a consensual relationship with a colleague was exposed. And so you say to yourself, okay, all right, both these people, ultra millionaires, both these people married with families, both these people married with children, they're old enough, they have grandchildren. And the whole house crumbles, two houses, because these people decide, for whatever the reason, I stop and wonder, I don't know, I'm not passing judgment. I'm just saying to us, it is worth for where you're going, that if you're married, if you want to be married, to work on your life, work on your marriage, because the devil does not play fair. If the marriage is bad now and you're in ministry, you're starting ministry, you're not dealing with it, you're getting away with it right now, the devil is playing this game that I want you to be aware of. Y'all ready for the game? Your marriage and your life is a big enough target right now, but that the enemy can hit you, expose you, wipe you out. But God's being gracious and the enemy is being strategic. The reason that things haven't been exposed or torn apart right now is because you're not elevated enough. Jesus Christ. A first floor fall won't kill you. It hurts you. A second floor fall won't kill you. A third floor fall might not kill you. Not a lot of people are going to see that. Probably won't even make a lot of news. But if you fall off the 100th floor, you're going to make news. there's going to be videos everywhere of you falling. And the enemy is not sparing you. He's waiting for you to go higher so that that fall destroys you. So work on it. You got integrity and money issues now? Work on it. Enemy can get you now. Shyster with money, slick, fabricating the books, doing different stuff, being bootleg. He can get you now. Nah, I see where they're going. Let them go higher. Because when I get you for financial irresponsibility, you're going to jail. You're not high enough to go to jail yet. Your whole ministry torn away, killed, suicide. You know, one of my fears is so funny, and this was a fear for real. I was like, Lord, I don't want to lead people. I'm not together enough to lead nobody. I don't want to lead nobody. I'm just gonna lead me. I was so fearful because you realize that the more you lead and the higher you go, when you mess up, you can hurt so many people. So you work on your all around game. Here's my last one I'll give you. So, what area are you gifted in? What areas are you gifted in? What areas are you strong in? What are you called to? Work on that. I can't be like I'm a prayer leader, right? I'm called to. I'm a leader of prayer leaders. I can't be like I'm a leader of prayer leaders. I can't be like I am calling the body of Christ back to prayer, teaching people how to pray, conducting prayer rallies and visits throughout the world, helping the local church become a house of prayer. I cannot say that that's what I am called to do, and then there's no corresponding action for me to get better in those areas. So at the conference yesterday, I rolled something out at the conference that none of y'all have heard because I've been sitting on it. And why should I give it away on here when I don't even know fully all the time who's all on here, how much value? It's just not the spot for us. When I talk about maps of prayer, when I talk about, different things that I'm doing that I'm not even going to talk about on here, I'm like, I've given 7 years of this, but I've also worked on things outside of here that is not for public consumption yet. And I just gave you all yesterday just a little sprinkle of the maps because of the time. I really can do probably 4 days on maps and break down, those moments, how to aim. I can break all that down, the process transfer. I can break all the maps down to really give people something that could really change their whole ministry, their lives. But I worked on that. I worked on how I pray publicly. I worked on how I pray publicly. I've had a lot of repetition, so I know what to do when I'm mid prayer, and something gets caught in your throat. I know what to do when I'm mid prayer and you have your thoughts lined up, but then you lose a thought. I know how to organize my thoughts in my mind as I pray and listen to the Holy Spirit so that I can articulate in a structured way what the Lord is saying. I know how to get enough scripture in me because I realize that the Holy Spirit brings back to your remembrance things, but you have to have those things in you. You have to know them for him to bring it back to your remembrance. He can't bring it back to your remembrance something that you never had, you never knew. So I take time meditating. I take time knowing how to organize my thoughts with Target. I take time knowing how certain places that you're in how to lead prayer in different cultures and different environments. I'll never forget, I was in a particular denomination and they pray with scripts. They only pray with scripts. They write their prayers and they read their prayers. And so I learned to understand the different cultures and how they work. We did a whole thing on corporate prayer yesterday. I told people, I gave them this elevator approach of prayer. Like if you're going to lead prayer, you're supposed to know what you're doing. Not like, let's just come on here and pray and hold it. No, 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 no. There's a strategy to this thing. This is skilled. So if you say that you're called to prayer, work on prayer. Say you're called to teach prayer, you should have some teachings. You should have a structure. All of the people that come to me and say, Terrell, Pastor Terrell, I need you to coach me on how I present, how I have a formula. I love watching great teachers and preachers because if you watch and you study great teachers and preachers, if you're supposed to be someone that's a public speaker, then you need to watch, you need to study, you need to read books on speaking because you see yourself up speaking and training so that you know as you study and as you listen, as you learn, that they're up there with a particular set of skills. They have skills. They know what attack and confess means as a skill in communication. They know what story, teach, to action is as a skill in communication. I can just go a whole gamut of things, but it's not just you get up there and you teach, that you're working from a set of tools. They know cadence. They know what silence does. Right? So, what is it then? Don't write it down. That you have to work on to be ready for the future and to make yourself less of a target for the enemy to hit you. Now, you might have tribulations in the world. As a matter of fact, in this world, you will have tribulations. But there's a difference between a tribulation and a harvest. Work on your all-around game. That's my advice for you. That's my wisdom for you. You have 5 things written down. Some of y'all can do it now. You got a pen. Like, okay, for these 5 things, I'm going to make sure that these things are tight. It's my communication, it's my people skills, it's my finances, it's my relationships. I'll make sure that these 5 things are tight. If I got issues, I'm going to get counseling. If I need a coach. Here's another thought too, and I'll leave you with this. Here's another thought as well. All right. There's a certain mentality that if you see that you have a certain mentality and the Lord calls you on it, then you have to say, let me get out of that mindset. And I'll say this as well. Get around some honest, seasoned folk that have seen some stuff that can warn you. That's why the Bible tells that the younger women get under the seasoned women, because these women may be able to tell you something. These older men may be able to tell you something. These older women who have kept a man or lost a man, they can tell you something. These older women, seasoned women who have been in the church and seen people be manipulated, seeing people play games, seeing how snakes move in the church, they'll be able to tell you, don't go to that man's office, don't do this, don't do that, don't. They'll be able to tell you how to navigate. Oh, baby, no, you don't do X, Y, and they'll be able to navigate you. They'll be able to say something like, I've seen you around here every day this week, young lady. What your husband doing? You be like, he good. Oh, he is good. he's very good. They'll be able to tell you you're being loyal to a fault. You're being loyal to a fault. Somebody maybe tell you, you got dreams. You need working on your own dreams. people say you next in line, they tell you that they lying most of the time because ain't no next in line. Promotion don't come by the next person in line. Promotion come from the Lord. That's why God gonna have some of you leap over certain things. You're gonna leap over somebody that's in a line because it comes from the Lord. There's an anointing of acceleration on you. God will move you around the whole line because what you got in the ground, that you worked on your depth, that you got seed in the ground, that you working on your favor with God, that you're talking to God. Don't let nobody tell you next in line. Everybody's in line. Get out the line and work on yourself. God's going to call those who he wants to call, those that have been preparing, those that have been good stewards, those that have been faithful, those he's given talents, and they've done what they need to do with what he gave them. He's going to give them promotion. He's going to take some stuff from somebody else and give it to you. Take some stuff from somebody else, give it to you. Why? Not because you stood in the line, not because you've been somewhere a long time. None of that is the factor. The factor is that God has found you faithful to him, that God's found you prepared, that you've worked on your all-around game and you are ready. Work on yourself. I heard one entrepreneur say this, Jim Rome, work on yourself harder than anything else. Work on you. He said, work on yourself. Actually, he said this. He said, work on yourself harder than you work on your job. I say work on yourself harder than anything else. Work on yourself. Talk about working on your all-around game. Maybe you can add this and working on me. What you doing working on me? Well, you got time working on me. All right, blessings. All right, I'm done tonight. We got one more Sunday night prayer left. I want all you all to come next week. We got one more Sunday night prayer left. Blessings to all of you. We got one more Sunday night prayer left. I guess I'll share this next. I'll share some of this next week. But if you all go to tonight at some point, you go to cterrellwheat.com. I got some stuff that I released at the conference yesterday. You go to cterrellwheat.com and you go to books. You ought to see I got a new book coming out in the fall. It's called Competencies, Prayer Competencies, 10 Principles for Effective Prayer. So those that want a strong foundation, those who want to be effective in prayer, I'm going to give you 10 Principles for Effective Prayer. New book coming out in the fall. Also, let me see here if it's on here or not. Yes, it is. So if you all, let me go back here. On my website, cterrellwheat.com. Nicely, I'll shoot it out in my text message to the people that are in my thread and through the email. But I do have 2 courses that I'm doing in the fall as well. One course is for those who God is calling to lead prayer teams. And so I have a course for that. Then I also have a course for those who are part of a prayer ministry, a part of a church, to be a life-changing culture of prayer. And so I have 2 4-hour courses out and a new book coming out. So you all take advantage of this. And it's all online. 4 hours all online. Four hours all online. And we'll get that out this week to you. We'll get that out this week to you. All right. So, all right, we're here 2 more times. Some of you, maybe we won't see you next Sunday. Lord willing, we'll all be here next Sunday. Some of you all were asking me, and I'm going to change this real quick as well. So give me a moment here. Let me tell you all something. Show you all something here. Two seconds. I got something to tell you all. Make sure I get this right here before I do that. I got it right. I didn't tell my team this before I jumped on, so they would have had it ready. It's my fault. All right. So blessings to all of you. All right, listen, for some of you tonight, we've been on 7 years. And for some of you tonight, you say, you know what, Pastor Terrell, I'm going to change this here as well. Right live time. Technology is so good that you could just do this stuff like right here. Like just change stuff behind the scenes. All right, it's so good. All right, for some of you all to say, all right, I want to sow something tonight. Terrell, this is last 2 weeks on. I want to sow something tonight. There you have it. All right, I had a new Cash App. New Cash App alert. My old Cash App, something's going on with it. And people are asking me, I'm trying to Cash App you. Keep saying I can't take it. Okay. So we got a new Cash App. It is Pray Terrell. Pray Terrell. So for those tonight, this is, again, anyone that wants to sow into this ministry last 2 times. Maybe you all just want to wait till next week. I don't know what you want to do. But I just want to give you the opportunity, if this has been a blessing to you for over the years, you've been working on your all-around game. Some of you all were not able to make it to the conference, and just want to give an opportunity to open the doors. We do this usually once a month. We're down to the last 2 times. I want to say thank you all so very much for all the support. I pray that it's been a blessing to you all. And as you all are giving, just thank you so much. Also, I want to say this. We're going off of Sunday night prayer. We're done next week. It's our last one. What do y'all want to do next? Y'all want to do anything? What y'all have in mind? Y'all want to show up some places? What do y'all want to do? Thank you, Tanya. I see you. Thank you so much, woman of God. Thank you. Y'all put some ideas in there while you're those that are sowing. Thank you. Regina, I see you. What do y'all want to do next? I'm not coming on Sunday night prayer like I used to. Y'all got any ideas? Thank you, Melissa. Blessings to you. Any ideas? Thank you all that are sowing tonight. I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to take a good nap. What do y'all want to do in the future? Devorah, I'm going to take a nap for sure. I feel good, though. Coming to an end of a season for Sunday night prayer. Any ideas, any thoughts, any feedback on tonight? All around game. Give me one thing y'all gonna work on. Blessings to all of you again. Thank you all tonight. Thank you. Thank you, Sharon. Blessings to you. Angela, always a blessing. Thank you. Classes on prayer. All right. I see you. Y'all, I'm writing these down. I'm making my list. I'm checking it twice. Classes on prayer, a podcast on prayer. I thought about that too. I was at Friday night prayer. Tiff said you're going to work on your attitude and your gifts. All right. That's awesome. Lahisha, you said pop-ups. Pop-up map sessions. Some quarterly stuff. I like that. Keep it coming. Thank you all that are giving. I have not forgotten about you. Thank you all. I see you all giving. Thank you, Pastor Mom. You're such a blessing to me. Lisa, thank you. Lisa, I need to see some more of you in 2024, 2025. Lisa Zander from New York. Blessings. They got planes, trains, automobiles. I also want to say thank you to Angela Morris and Cherie Street. I don't even know if she's on here, but they showed up on my conference and put up a whole display to take pictures of backdrop. It was so beautiful. They had called me the day before. It was just so beautiful. You guys just thank God for just people who just love you and just soul. I just pray God bless you. Working on the calling, that's good. Somebody else said do some classes on prayer, a podcast on soft skills. Y'all, would it be worth to do something on soft skills? He said, I'm working on my depth. All right. All right, I'm back, y'all. I clicked the wrong button. All right. You have friends live in Chicago. Good. Check in on my daily prayer progress. Tiff. All right. Prayer and communication workshops. Y'all keep saying teaching on empathy. All right, do me a favor, you all. Thank you all who sold tonight. I know I missed some names talking to you all. Thank you so much. Dr. Hunter, I see you. Thank you, all of you. Shouting you out here. Thank you, all of you. Listen to this. Again, Melissa, thank you. I know I missed some. I heard. So let me say this as I get ready to go off. Y'all, let's do me a favor. We're gonna promote this next week is my last Sunday night prayer. Come on, y'all. Y'all set your alarm clocks right now, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Let's come on. Let's talk. Let's hang out. I'm gonna give you all my final wisdom nugget. 7 years Sunday night prayer. One piece of wisdom. So give it to you all. And that's gonna be it. But again, thank you all so much. It's been a great journey. Super excited about what God has done, the lives, the relationships. Love you all so much. All right, one more to go. 7 years down, one episode, one night to go. Have a blessed and amazing evening. I love you all. I'll see you all next Sunday if the Lord is willing. All right, peace.